Ask any teacher about the hardest part of their day, and they'll likely point to the exact moment they have to ask a student to put their phone away for the sixth time today. For years, we've treated this friction as a personal failing. If a teenager couldn't focus on a lesson, society blamed a lack of discipline, or pointed the finger at parents for not enforcing stricter rules at home. Technology companies encouraged this framing. Whenever they faced scrutiny, their legal defense was simple. They built neutral platforms. If users experienced harm, the companies argued they were only responsible for the content people chose to look at, not the infrastructure itself. That defense collapsed in March 2026 inside a Los Angeles courtroom. A jury ordered Meta and Google to pay $6 million in damages to a young woman experiencing severe mental health struggles. The ruling explicitly bypassed the specific videos or posts she viewed, and instead targeted the engineering of the platforms. The tech industry suddenly found its underlying architecture on trial. The court decided that the code itself, rather than the morality or willpower of the user, was responsible for the damage. This legal pivot from harmful content to harmful design exposes how these platforms operate. Features like the infinite scroll remove natural stopping cues, tricking the brain into continuous consumption. Combined with algorithmic recommendations, this system repeatedly triggers dopamine in developing minds. Pointing out these flaws does not mean schools need to abandon modern tools. When a classroom uses software to run a digital science experiment or collaborate on a laptop, technology serves as a vital instrument for learning. There is a clear mechanical difference between actively writing lines of code for a project and passively swiping through an endless, curated social media feed. The friction teachers see every day is the result of highly sophisticated mathematical design choices. The platforms are built to be difficult to put down, prioritizing continuous engagement and corporate profit over a child's psychological well-being. The fallout from the Los Angeles courtroom is now accelerating legislative action across the Atlantic. The UK's Online Safety Act, the country's primary internet regulation law, already requires tech platforms to establish a duty of care for young users. The LA ruling gives this law teeth by providing a legal precedent that explicitly labels addictive interfaces as defects. This transition to focusing on harmful design directly supports the UK Department for Education's updated guidelines, released in January 2026. The updated guidance establishes a new default reality for English education. All schools are instructed to operate as completely mobile phone-free environments. This changes the entire dynamic in the classroom. When a teacher tells a student to put a device away, they are executing a legal safeguard against a documented, defective product. Until now, educators have often operated in a digital tug-of-war, trying to enforce screen time boundaries during the day that frequently differ from the rules students follow at home. The legal recognition of addictive design offers a neutral, evidence-based way to communicate with parents. It shifts the conversation away from behavioral blame, allowing schools to act as partners in managing device dependency. But issuing new policies will fail if the adults in the building do not understand how these applications actually function. Professional development for school staff has to evolve. Memorizing basic e-safety checklists is no longer enough. Teachers need training that unpacks the psychological impact of specific features, like algorithmic feeds and engagement loops. Adults cannot accurately spot the signs of digital dependency or support a student's mental health if they remain blind to the invisible mechanical forces their students interact with for hours every single day. While courts and lawmakers are finally catching up to the mechanics of social media, they are entirely ignoring the next wave of classroom technology: generative AI, systems designed to instantly create text, code, or images on demand, is rapidly integrating into the daily lives of students. Because these models can act as highly personalized, conversational companions available at all hours, they carry the potential to forge entirely new forms of psychological dependency that current laws do not address. Schools find themselves acting as the vanguard once again. They have to balance the immense educational potential of these tools against their incredibly engaging nature. The Los Angeles verdict proved that the architecture of our digital spaces has consequences. To protect the next generation of students, we have to study how that architecture is built, rather than waiting for another crisis to force our hand.